Hey, what's up? This is the Political Brown Kid here. And I know I've been doing some videos a lot, just kind of showing or illustrating how the media um, kind of brainwashes individuals and how we are conditioned by the media to kind of think a certain way. And particularly, I do that showing how the media wants black people to kind of either lighten up or they want to project black men as being non-existent. Like you watch any sci-fi movie, black men don't have big roles in sci-fi movies. You know, you'll see Zoe Saldana in space banging every black man in sight. You'll see Tandy Newton in space banging every white man in sight. Well, Zoe Saldana banging every white man in sight, her and Tandy. And you just see all of these women in space, black women in space, light skinned black women particularly, or just a fine black woman, just in space. And you don't see any black man with a role. He's in the back. You know, he may be holding a transponder and, doing something and he goes away, but he has no significant role. So you'll see either black men being non existent, irrelevant in these movies, or you see them as homosexuals or non-sexual. They're asexual beings. They're just characters that are there. They have no particular interest in anything romantically. Lando Calrissian was like that. But as you looked at it too, Star Wars finally came out and said that Lando was pansexual. So basically, Lando is queer. So that's what they basically said. But when I was talking about the media, I was basically focusing in on visual media, like social media, movies, television, so forth. I want to talk today about non-visual media, audio. So let's just talk about the music that we listen to and how that has transformed black people, black culture. Before, when you listened to music in the 60s, 70s, there was a different vibe. It was more about love, getting along. You had civility in music. You listen to music, like I said, with the introduction of hip hop. And listen, trust me, I love hip hop. I'm a hip hop person, but I will say this, and I've said it before in several things. Some artists came in, and particularly when NWA came in, and they had the success that they did. The executives at the record companies, they latched on to NWA, and then it forced other artists to say that, well, in order for me to make it, this is what I got to do. I think that's my hypothetical position on that. But the music just became about foolishness. When you listen to the music today, the young women are just nasty. These young women are they are ridiculously they're degenerates when you listen to this music. The men aren't talking about anything much better. They're degenerates too, just in a different way. The music has become even the R&B. Like you can't even hear a singer. Like all R&B dudes are want to be thugs. Like whatever happened to like people like Ready for the World, or just like a guy that just wanted to be a romantic type guy. You don't have that anymore. You have singers that just want to be tatted up, that want to show how hard and gangster they are, and that they can go to jail and they just as gangster as as the gangster rappers. You got singers that are getting jumped into gangs after they've made it. They didn't even come from that environment. They came from Louisiana, talking about Lil Wayne. They came from Virginia, Chris Brown, and now they just want to be jumped into a gang all of a sudden. They want to just thug it out for the rest of their life. These young female singers, they're singing about eating their things like groceries and doing certain nasty stuff. These have become song lyrics. I'm talking about people singing. I'm not talking about rapping. I'm talking about singing. I've even heard Sean Stockton from Boys to Men sing the N-word. And you have singers that want to sing the N-word like it's just a regular thing to do. You look at the videos, the women have no clothes on. I saw one, and I'm not even an Ice Spice fan, don't even know what song she sings. I saw a video on YouTube. She came out on stage and I can't even call it a skirt. I don't even know what she was wearing. It barely covered her butt cheeks. And so I'm wondering, like, am I at a concert or am I at a strip show? What am I at? I don't know what I'm at. Am I at a donkey show? Are y'all about to wheel out a donkey in a minute? I have no idea what these shows are. The shows are just hypersexual. Everyone is hypersexual. Everyone is about thugging, money. It is an over glamorization and over materialization of things in songs. And I even say this, for as much as I talk about Bill Maher, his monologue for his Friday, February the 3rd show was actually a good one where he did talk about, the over materialization in music. And he not only showed it from black artists, but from white artists. And it's so true. When Jay-Z became probably one of the first persons that you would hear, or at least one of the most popular people that you would hear say, you ain't got enough stamps in your passport. Or my passport, I got three. You would hear him say that and talk about how international he is. Now all you see are girls online. I'm talking about black women. And I'm pretty sure white women doing it too, but I don't look for white women to date and marry. I look for sisters. All they want is, if you don't got a passport, don't talk to me. I've been to 35 countries and counting. They have no savings. They have no check-ins. They live modestly. They have no generational wealth, but they know how to travel and spend money. And they save nothing for their kids or for their kids' future because they think their kids are supposed to do it all. And they don't even attempt to give their kids a head start in life. They don't attend to make their kids nepo babies. All they want to do is cry and complain that the government needs to intervene to help their kids and to help equalize things and balance things out. But they go around and spend all their money traveling instead of putting stuff into building up their own community through generational wealth. They put no effort into building up their own personal wealth and to help their kids out and to help their kids become a nepo baby. But they want Google to hire them. They want somebody else to hire them. And they want somebody else to treat them fairly. It's ridiculous. The music has made our kids foolish. You have kids out here carjacking people. You have kids out here with guns, doing violent acts, doing all kind of stuff. You have young girls out here doing the most nastiest of nasty sexual things because they hear people like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion say stupid stuff out of their mouth. None of the songs are productive. Everything everyone thinks about is how to get more Gucci, Louis, how to drive a Maybach. You're nothing if you drive a Honda or a Nissan or a Chevy. You're nothing if you drive a practical car. You're nothing if you have a practical house and if you spend your money wisely. Everyone wants to fake it like they are living a boss life, and it's partly because of this music. And we don't control and we don't monitor our kids and we don't demand better from these music artists. And also, one of the other bigger things that I'm going to blame are these black radio stations. You can blame all radio stations, period. But I'm going to point specifically at black radio stations. Because once again, like I say, we can't blame the white man. You can't continue to talk about and say, well, we're not the ones flying and floating drugs and flooding our community with drugs. Just because somebody flies and floats and drops a kilo of cocaine into your neighborhood, onto your street, doesn't mean you have to sell it or use it. You could throw it away. You could turn it over into the cops. You honestly could, but you choose to sell it and destroy the community. So once again, similar to that, these radio stations don't have to play the music that they're given. They choose to say, well, you know what? I have a choice. I can either play Biggie, I can either play NWA, or I can play Father MC and Tribe Called Quest. And you know what they do? They play the former. They play Biggie and they play NWA. And I'm not trying to say that there's anything wrong totally with Biggie, because Biggie's actually pretty cool. Biggie's pretty cool. Biggie's not ignorant like NWA. But what I'm trying to say is there's certain songs from Biggie that you can probably say, nah, I'm not going to play this one. I'm not going to play that one. I'm not going to play Who Shot You. I'm not going to play that. I'm going to play your more fun-loving, non-violent music. I'll play that. And you can do the same with all of these artists. You know, and I will say this: a Tribe Called Quest and who's a group down in Atlanta? Um, Big Boy and Andre 3000. I totally forget it. Slips my mind. But you know who I'm talking about. They just broke up. They've been broken up for so long, but they were probably the only two. They were probably like they were the outliers in hip hop. But there were so many more of those type of groups that could have gotten airplay, but people chose not to play it. People chose not to play Nas's I Know I Can. People chose not to play Nas's Daughters. People choose not to play certain things. All they want to play are the gangster music and because they think it's cool and they think it's fun. When 50 Cent and Ja Rule were beefing, that's all you heard these radio people talk about. Instead of just saying, look, we're not going to feed into this bull crap. We're not even going to pay any attention to it because any news is good news for these artists. So, but instead, they want to talk about the beef. They want to invite Ja Rule on the station to talk about what happened, who stabbed who shot who first, who did this, who did that. Then they want to invite 50 over because people like drama. And all they want to do is just ear hustle because they have no life, they have no street life. And so they want to bring these people on and they want to get their stations all of this attention. And then when someone gets shot and killed, i.e. Biggie Smalls, i.e. Tupac, then these radio stations want to be all somber and say, today we're not going to play any violent music. Today is going to be a day of peace. I don't make this stuff up. I lived through this. When you turned on your radio when Tupac was killed and when Biggie got killed, the first thing out of these out of these people mouth that work at the radio station was, the violence has to stop. I don't know why there's violence, and we're not going to play this music today. And so they'll give you a 2 or 3 day moratorium on playing stupid stuff, and then the fourth day they're back to playing NWA. They're back to playing some foolish music. I don't make this stuff up. Instead of just saying, you know what, we're not condoning this music at all. If these young ladies want to talk about what they want to do with their private parts, we're not going to play it. We're not going to sell it. It'll probably still sell itself, but we're not going to play it on our station. You got something else we'll play? We'll play it. But if there is one line in that song that has anything what you do with your private parts, we're not going to play it. If there's one line from these young men that are in these songs that are talking about, how much dope they've sold and who they're going to body next and who they did body and all of this other foolishness, if they got one line in there, we're not playing it. We need to start setting examples because it's not just the social media and it's not just the video content that I've been bashing for a couple of weeks. It's also the music. And unfortunately, you can sit here and say, well, I'm not a role model. I'm not this, I'm not that. But the stuff that you pump into young people's minds, you should think about what you say. So I'm going to end it there. We got to do better as a community. We have to do better and create more positive imagery. And like I said, the media and the music is a part of the media. And even the comedy is a part of the media as well. We need to stop this dumb comedic stuff. All black comedians, all they want to do is talk negatively about black culture. And then the only jokes they have is vulgar and crass and cruel. We need at least some more balance to come out. We need more people like Sinbad. You need more people like Tommy Davidson to come in and show you a different type of comedy. That not all comedy has to be about downing black culture and talking about just nasty, foolish, vulgar stuff. So I definitely like to get your opinion on this. This is the Political Brown Kid. I'm out of here.